Okay, this is going to be the Algebra 2 Unit 3 sample test on absolute value equations and inequalities. Okay, the directions say state your solutions, clearly indicate your solutions on the graph. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Menu, I'm going to go to Graph, okay. In the top line, what I want to do is I want to graph the right side first. So I'm going to graph 8, okay, and then on this side, all right, I want to graph absolute value of x minus 5. So what I'm going to do that is I'm going to go to Option, Num, ABS, and I'll put parentheses around x minus 5, execute, draw. And what I want to do is I want to find the intersections, okay? Just to let you know, you should be able to zoom in and out. So zoom in, execute, or zoom out, execute. That's just how you would zoom in and out, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to G-solve, intersect. I got -3, and I hit over to get the other one. So I got two solutions. X equals -3, X equals 13. Okay? On a number line, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put -13. I'm going to put 3. -3 and 13. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put filled in circles. Okay? Alright, moving on to the next one. Alright, so on this one, we're going to go back. Alright, I'm going to graph the right side, x minus 3. I'm going to graph the other side, Option, Num, ABS, 2 plus 3x. Alright, so it's Option. Okay, we'll do the next one, I'll show you. Alright, if I draw, I get that. Now, when I go to do this, I do G-solve intersect. That answer is, since there's no intersections, no solution. Okay? No solution. Alright, moving on. Okay. Alright, number 3. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to graph the right side. I'll go back and delete both of these. Okay. So the right side of the equation is 1/2. So parentheses 1/2. Alright. Absolute value. So Option, Num, which is F5, ABS, which is F1. X minus 7, okay, plus 1. All right, the other side is going to be x minus 3, execute, draw. Okay, I got G-solve intersect, and I've got an answer of 5. And as you can see, there's only one answer there, so it's 5 with the filled in circle. All right, moving on, okay, to number 4. Alright, so what I'm going to do is on that right side, exit, I'm going to do 2x, oops, I'm going to go exit, and delete these, delete, okay, 2x plus 9, okay, 3, Option, Num, ABS, x minus 1, draw, okay. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit, here's why, it looks like it's going to cross there, zoom out, execute. So G-solve intersect, I've got one answer of -1.2 and another answer of 12. So you've got to make sure that you cover both solutions. Okay, fill in circles on both of them. Okay? Alright, I think that's the end of the page. We're going to go to number 5. Okay? Number 5, graph inequalities. State your solutions. Clearly indicate your solutions on your graph. Okay? Now, this is where it's very important, okay, that you graph the correct side first. Alright? So what we're going to do is I'm going to graph 7. Now, as you can see, there's an inequality there. So I'm going to pick out the exact inequality. So the way I do that is I go to Type, and then I'm going to use the over. Now, be careful, that's going to be F6, and I'm going to pick out this exact inequality, which happens to be F2. Then I'm going to go hit the over button. All right? And so what I got is 7. So that should look exactly like this side. Okay? Now, what you want to do is if you pick this inequality this time, you pick the flipped around one for the other. Okay? And so I'm going to type in Option, Num, ABS, x plus 2 minus 8. Okay? So if you take a look at this, one inequality, okay, goes the way it looks, and the other one flips around the way. So if I draw it, this is what I get. Now, I'm going to do G solve, intersect, okay? That point's going to be -7. I'm sorry, -17, and the other one is going to be 13, okay? -17 and 13. Now, since there's no line underneath it, it's going to be open circle, okay? All right? And if you notice, the shading is taking place between it, so I'm going to go ahead and shade like this. Like just shading like that. How would I write my solution? You got a couple ways. You can write it as x is less than 13, and x is greater than -17. The other way you could do it, okay, is you could do it like this, where, all right, it's written in between. So it's less than 13 and greater than -17. You could do either way, all right? Either answer is acceptable, okay, for your solution. All right, moving on to the next one. Okay. All right, we'll go to exit. Now I got to delete these. Delete them. All right, first. All right. Now I'm going to go type this one. All right, so it looks exactly like it. 2, option, num, ABS, x -4. And since I picked that one the first time, I picked the other one, which would happen to be F3, the second time. Whoops. All right, type. Okay, I'm going to pick this one. Okay, and so I got 4x -1. All right. So once again, you can see dual examples. G solve, intersect. All right, I got 1.5. Okay, I got 1.5. Everything going to the left. So 1.5. Since this is this part is going to make it a closed circle. So I'm going to do this, and since I see the shading to the left, it's going to be this. So that's going to be x is less than 1.5. The shading is to the left. Okay? Moving on to this next one. Okay, number 7. All right? Number 7. All right, I'm going to go back and delete both of them. Very important you delete both of them prior to proceed. Okay, so I'm going to do type. I'm going to pick the exact type, which will be F2. I'm going to put 6. All right? I'm going to switch that type around. So instead of this one, now I'm going to do that. Okay? All right, and I got option, num, ABS. All right, x +8, and draw. Okay? Now, as you can see, there is no shading. So this answer is going to be no solution. And the reason it's going to be no solution is, from an algebraic standpoint, is if I subtract this, can an absolute value ever be less than a negative number? No. Okay? All right? Now, let's go on to this last one. Okay? I'm going to delete both sides, I'm going to put in the type for this to be y is less than or equal to -24. All right? I'm going to flip that type around. Okay? So I'm going to go the other way. All right? And I'm going to do 2, option, num, ABS. All right? 8x +27. All right, draw. Okay, all right. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to see if there happens to be any other shading. No shading. So this is going to be a no solution. Okay, all right. Now, if you saw shading all through, let's say this whole thing was shading, and that would be infinite solutions. Once again, the reason. How can you explain this? Well, the reason is, even if you divide by 2, the absolute value. Okay, absolute value. Substitute by C. Absolute value is never less than a negative number. Okay? All right? If an absolute value was greater than a negative number, that would be infinite. We'll practice some of those on your other stuff. All right? So let's go on to number 9. All right? Now, here's how you find this. First, what you have to figure out is it an equation or inequality? Since I have shading, this is going to be an inequality. This one would be an inequality. This one would be an equation. And this one would be an equation. Okay? So the way you do this is you find the distance here. Okay? -3 to 11, you can count the spaces, is 14. Okay? Is 14. All right. Now, what you have to do, that's going to be part of your number. What you have to do is use this 14. Find halfway. All right, halfway, 14 divided by 2 would be 7. So if I count in 7 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that would put me at 4. Okay? So what I'm actually going to put inside here is x minus 4. Because remember, anything I put inside, I'm sorry, x plus 4. All right? No, wait, that's not right. I'm sorry, that's not correct. All right, so I'm going to move, I'm not 4 in, I'm going to move 7 in. Okay, so it's 14. I want to figure out where I would be halfway. All right, halfway. So that distance of 14. Sorry, I did that one backwards. I should have put that down. The distance is 14 divided by 2 would be 7. Okay, it would be 7. So that amount that I get will be a part of my inequality. Okay. Now, if I move 7 in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would be at 4. Now, what I want to put in here is x minus 4. All right? So I'm putting the opposite, just like I always would. Now, how do I figure out the inequality? All right? Well, what would be shaded from that one? I'm going to do less than, because if I shaded from this side, I would get that answer. If you wanted to check it, here's a real easy way to check it. All right, I'm going to put a zoom back in here. Zoom and execute. Okay, zoom and execute. Okay, here's an easy way to check it. If I go back, all right, I'm going to delete these. Delete. If I check this, let's say type, all right, 7, okay, option num, ABS, all right, x minus 4, all right. Now, when I draw it, first of all, do I have shading on the outside? Okay, I do, all right, okay. So I have shading on the outside there, all right. And I want shading on the inside. Hold on. Oh, wait, that's backwards. Type. I knew something wasn't right there. All right. Actually, I have to delete both of these. Sorry about that. All right. So I got to do type. All right. Y. Then, yep, there we go. I typed the wrong thing. Type. Switch it around the other way. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. Type. We'll do the other one. Okay. Option num ABS. All right. X minus 4. All right. Okay. Now, I know I didn't write that time because I got the shading on the inside, G-solve intersection. I got -3 and I got 11. All right. So that's the way you can check. All right. If I come to this one here, all right. All right. This would be a 1 here. Don't get confused by that. All right. What I look at is how far do I count from these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8, I'm going to divide 8 by 2, I'm going to get 4. All right, so 4 is going to be involved with my inequality. I count back 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'd be here, which would be at 5. Now what I'm going to put in here is x minus 5. All right, now since this is shaded that way, I'm going to do greater than or equal to. Okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have the equal to sign there because it's an open circle. If I want to check this, okay, what I want to do to check it, all right, I'm going to delete both. Okay, I got type, y equals, the greater than. Okay, now I'm going to switch it around, do less than 1, and do option num ABS, all right, x minus 5. Okay, if I draw that, shading on the outside, G-solve intersect, 1 and 9. Okay? It's a way you can always check. Alright, if you're doing stuff right. If you're not doing stuff right, like I was making some mistakes, go back and double check it. Alright, now, here's all you gotta do for this one. Let's count how many spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 spaces divided by 2 would be 4. So that's going to be involved with my equation. Alright, let's count back 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that would put me here. Alright, if I counted back 4 spaces, which I'm going to put x minus 3, and there's my equation. Okay? Now let's look at this one. How many are these away? Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 divided by 2 would be 5.5. Okay? So I would have equals 5.5. Alright? 5.5. So that's going to put me at 3.5. So it's going to be x minus 3.5. All right. Now, all right, as you can see, all right, there's a bunch of answers involving 2. All right. Now, one way to look at that, all right, is which one would give me that same result. All right. Well, this would be divided by 2. This would be less. So this one's no good. This one I would divide by 2. I would get this answer. So this one would work. All right. If I divided by 2, yeah, that would be 5.5. That would be x minus 7. Okay. And this one, all right, even if I separated it, all right, that would be 11. One thing you could always do, you could always graph these and see which ones gave you the answer. Okay. For instance, all right, if I wanted to check, I want to delete these types and delete these types. I'm going to type y equals. If I wanted to check, let's say my answer here, all right, I would put 11, all right, 2, all right, option num, ABS, all right, x minus 3.5, okay. Now, what should be is I should have points at 2 and 9. So if I drew that, G solve intersect, I got a point at -2, I got a point at 9. Now, if I want to try the other one, if I wanted to 11, all right, now I want to delete this. And let's say I want to do option num, ABS, okay, let's say 2x, right, minus 7, all right, and I want to draw it, okay, G solve intersect, I got -2, all right, I also have 9. So there's another way you can check to see if that is the right solution, okay. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. I recommend doing that. That makes it a whole lot easier. Okay? All right? Absolute value inequalities, okay, with 2 variables. Now, just as a rule of thumb, here's what I would do. Let's go ahead and graph this in the calculator and see what we got. Okay? Now, somebody's going to say, well, Mr. Evans, we only have one equation. Yeah, that's right. We only do. We only have that right side. Okay? So I'm going to do 2, option num, ABS, okay? All right, x, all right, plus 5, all right, and I'm going to draw. Whoops. An extra set of parentheses. Draw. Okay. Oh, I forgot to change my type. Type. Y equals. Oh, I got to delete the whole thing. Type. The exact one that I have, which would be this one right here. Type. All right. 2. Option. Num. ABS. Okay, here's what I got. Got that. Okay, so I know the shading is going to be below. Now, how do I do this? Okay, very simply. Okay, the anchor point would be 0, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, reminder of the points 1, 2, -1, -2. X and Y. I'm still using the absolute value. That's 1, 2, 1, 2. Since I have that 2 out front, I multiply with it by 2. So that'd be 2, 4, 2, and 4. Okay? So 1 right, 2 up, 2 right, 4 up. 1 left. Okay? Alright. Now, since it's like this, I'm gonna put a dash. And my shading here would be on this side. Okay? Let's move over here to this one. Okay? Now, I'm gonna go back in. Alright, I'm gonna delete this. Alright, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my type, alright, y, okay, alright, and I'm gonna do x, alright, -1 squared, minus 3, alright, so I'm gonna draw this to you like that, okay, so my anchor point here is 1, -3, so 1, 1, 2, and 3, okay, as a reminder, quadratic, 1, 2, -1, -2, 1, 2, 1, 4, 1, 4. Okay, so 1 right, 1 up, 2 right, 1, 2, 3, 4 up, 1 left, 1 up, 2 left, 4 up. Once again, I would have a dash deal in here, and as you can see, I'm shaded in between. Okay? So go make sure you remember your anchor points there. That stuff will come back and help you. Right? The inequality. Okay, so what you have to decide is, well, what kind of inequality is this? When it's like this, notice how there's only one shape. So I'm going to put y, same thing here, y and y. Now where is this shaded? This is shaded below and a dash line. This is shaded above, and because that's a solid line, I have that. So I got to look at what's my quadratic, or what's my function. This is absolute, this is quadratic. How do I know? U-shape. Okay? Anchor points. All right? That anchor point would be 1, 2. So x minus 1 plus 2. Okay? Now, if I go, let's use our one-to-one concept. If I go right 1, up 1 hits the graph, so that's a 1 there. This, if I go right 1, I got to go 1, 2. Okay, so I got to go down 2 to hit that one. My anchor point on this one would be -1. All right, so that would be the equation for that one. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Given the graph of the function below, find the square root or find the information. Okay. So what I got here is I got -4, -2. This is very similar to our other problem. All right, this would be infinity, infinity. Okay, let's find all this stuff. Domain, smallest x value is -4, biggest x value is infinity. So x is greater than -4. Smallest y value is -2, biggest y value is infinity. So I got y is greater than -2. Okay, the zeros, x equals -3, -3, 0. Y-intercept crosses the 2. Okay. All right. What else do we got? Start from here. That's all increasing. None here. As x approaches infinity, that'd be infinity and none. Okay, because that's going to be that one. All right. Okay, domain. All right. This is going to be a line. All right. All right. So a line is going to look like this. Okay. So if I label that. That's positive and positive, all right, negative and positive. So the smallest x value is -infinity, biggest is this, so it's going to be all real numbers. The smallest y value is -infinity, the biggest y value is infinity, that's going to be all real numbers. All right? Okay, this one, all right, my anchor point is 0, -3, all right? One right. It look like this. Positive, positive, negative, positive. As a reminder, if you want to plot the points, 1, 2, -1, -2, 1, 4, 1, 4. Okay, because those are all going to the quadratic. So 1, all that. Okay, the domain, small, so I got to make sure I label that. 0, -3. Smallest x value, -infinity. Biggest x value, infinity. So it's going to be all real numbers. Smallest y value, -3. Biggest y value, infinity. Since it's an actual point, I can put a line underneath that. Zeros crosses at 2, it crosses at -2. Okay, 2, 0, -2, 0. All right, we'll move this up so you can see the rest. Okay, y-intercept, 0, -3. Okay, now, increasing, decreasing. Decrease from -infinity to 0, increase from 0 to infinity. All we care about is the x coordinates. Okay, so 0 to infinity, -infinity to 0. Okay, and behaviors are both positive, positive. Okay, all right. A couple composition things. Okay, all right. G of f of x. So just so I don't have to write it, g of x is x squared minus 3. F of x is 2x plus 5. All right. How did I get that? That's from these pictures. Okay. All right, so let's start. G of f of x. So I lead with g. I put in x. I put in f. Since this is a variable, I got to do the boxes for that. So that's going to be 4x squared, 10x, 10x, 25. Okay. All right, so I got 4x squared plus 20x plus 25 minus 3. So my final answer is 4x squared plus 20x plus 22. Okay? F of g of f. I'm sorry. F of g of x. So I'm going to start with f. I'm putting in g. I'm putting in that. Okay? Since it's a number. All right? Since it is a number, I'm going to store it in the calculator. So up here, all right, negative square root of 5 stored for x. Okay, so I got 2x squared minus 3 plus 5. And I got 9 for a result. All right, it says find g inverse. Okay, so I want to the inverse would be square root of x. Since that's minus 3 on the outside, that would become plus 3 on the inside. Okay, very simple. All right. So make sure you go through that. Calculator skills are vital in this chapter. Make sure you know how to shade. Make sure to find absolute value. Option. Okay. Actually, when we're in the graph part, all right. Option none. That gets you to the ABS. All right. Make sure as you have to delete things, make sure you delete everything before you do the inequalities. The first inequality you're always going to type is what you see. Okay. So if you type this one first, then the second line you type this. If you type this line first, and the second line you type that in top. Type the opposite. Very important. Okay. All right. Go through that sample test. A couple more concepts that are key, just as a reminder. All right, this and this will produce a dashed or an open circle. This and this will produce a solid and a closed circle. Shading outside. Okay. All right, will be like the V. It'll be shaded over here. Okay. Shading inside. Okay. When you look at the V, it's all shaded in here. Okay. So that's some very vital things to know. All right. Just make sure you practice that, and you should be fine.